Okay, so the first tool we're going to be looking at is the pick tool. So the pick tool is more like your default tool in CorelDraw application. You'll be using it most often. Personally, I use it a lot. So we are going to quickly look at how to use the pick tool and then what it can do. So in CorelDraw, it comes with an advantage. Okay, the advantage is that you can just click on the tool, you highlight it, and it will tell you what it does, which is select, position, or transform object. So the pick tool is used to basically select, position, and transform objects. So we are going to look at how to go about that. Okay, so how to select an object. So here we have three rectangles. We have a red rectangle, yellow rectangle, and green rectangle over here. And then these rectangles are what you're going to be used to do most of our demonstrations. All right, so to select an object, we have two ways. You can either use more like the highlighting method, or the selection method, or the dragging method, or the clicking method. Let me use that. So the dragging method or the clicking method. So to select using a click, I just click on the object I want to select, and I've selected it. Okay, so when I want to select, what you want to select, two things. I click on the first one, and then I hold on to shifts on our keyboard, and then select the next one. If I want to select multiple, more than two, the subsequent ones are still holding on to shifts while I do that. And basically that is how we do the selection using the click. What if I want to select using the drag method? So I just have to click any part of my screen. I mean, not the entire screen though. I mean, I'm talking about the canvas. These places are usable parts within your CorelDraw. This part, the part that has been marked out with these rulers, I mean the scroll bar and all that. So back to these parts. Okay, so to select using, so you just have to click and drag. So this is a dragging method. Okay, so you click and drag over the object you want to select, and then you are good to go. The key thing you should look at is make sure always that what you are selecting falls inside the area that you are dragging it over. So if I should even get some part of yellow to be part of the drag, and then yellow is not completely immersed inside the area I just drag or highlighted, yellow is not going to be selected. Okay, if I want yellow to be selected, which is if I want to do multiple, I just have to select it, pick, and make sure yellow is completely immersed inside, and then I am good to go. If I want to do the third one in the same order. So that is how we select in CorelDraw. Okay, so we're going to look at the next thing, which is to position actually. So to position actually is to change the position. So easily we are going to do it this way. So every time before you position any object at all in CorelDraw, you first of all have to select it. Okay, that's the first thing you should look at. So if you select here, then you can now position. To position, you can either click to select and then you drag, or you can highlight to select and then you drag. So you click, hold, and then you move it to wherever you want to put it. That is how we do the positioning. The last thing that the pick tool does and helps us to do is what we call the transforming. So it's one thing that pick tool you'll be using mostly for aside the moving and the position and all that. So transforming actually simply means changing the look of your object. Okay, that's the basic definition I can give. So when you select, you can see this should I say extra boxes at the edges of the object you selected. So these are the parts that will be helping us to do the various transformation. So usually when you use the ones in the corner, what it does is it increases or decreases the size, or enlarge or reduces the size of the object. Should I say perpendicular, which means it does within a fixed ratio, which means it's as the height increases, as it increases horizontally, it also increases vertically in order. So you can see it when I use a corner, it enlarges. When I reduce it to this in that order. And when I want to just enlarge it horizontally, I can actually just click and then drag it. This is to one side. What if I want to do it to two sides? I hold my shift while I drag, so you can see it's working two sides. The same thing with the top as well. I can just hold the shift, and then shift actually helps us do so many things. The same thing with the corners. I can just hold shift, my shift, and when I hold shift, you can see that means all sides will be enlarged together at the same time or reduced at the same time. So that is how that one works. So now we are going to look at rotation. Rotation is a form of transforming the object, the orientation, how it looks. So what if I want to rotate it? So to rotate, you double click, or you can select. After you select, you want to rotate, just click once, and then you have the chance to rotate. So instead the indicators we had earlier on will now change into these, let me say, rotational angles, or these rotational arrows. Okay, so when you use the canners help you rotate it. You can see it, and there's a real-time calculation of the angle at which you rotate everything. You can see it over here. And if I want to take it back to default, I put it at 0, and then it's going to be position. What if I want to rotate it through 90 degrees? I just type 90 degrees and then put it to 90 degrees. So back to 0, and then we are good to go with that. So that's how to do a rotation. But then what if I want to skew it? So skewing is actually also a form of transformation. Okay, so I can just hold it, click here and drag down, click here and drag down, click, drag down. So you can see this a different shape altogether, more like a parallelogram. Yes, so I do find it difficult to mention the word sometimes. Anyway, that's just by the way. All right, so we can produce so many shapes and other things just from rotating it and then also skewing at the same time. Okay, so basically that is the whole thing about Pick 2. That's how we can use Pick 2 to do so many things. And don't forget, you can actually do all the things we mentioned after selecting. So when I select multiple, I can reduce their size together, I can increase their size, I can click and rotate all of them together as well. So please feel free and explore the Pick 2. All right, thank you.